Okay, so let's start with our network equipment here. We have our cable modem. Yours probably looks different than this, but there's a coaxial input jack here. And this is coaxial cable. This is the same cable that you'd plug into your cable box to watch cable television. And then over here to our left, there's the power. It's going to be different for you. And your internet out, which is your Ethernet cable here. Plug that in, make sure it's secure, and that's all set to go. Now, this is what Cat 5 cable looks like on the inside. It's orange, white, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. 8 pins, it's modern standard, and there's Cat 5e, which is very high rates of data transfer, up to gigabit. And there's those colors I just said. So back to your network equipment. This is your router. It might look totally different than this, probably says Linksys, a lot of people have those these days. But you have 4 lights on the front for each computer connected, all of them have that. A power button, an internet light to make sure it's connected to your modem, and this one's a wireless model, so it'll tell me that I have wireless on or off. Here's the ports for each computer that's numbered up top, and then the internet port over on the right there. Those correspond. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now your cable modem is going to connect with that same Cat 5 cable, RJ45 connections, into the internet port of your router. Now once that's all set up, your internet's all set to go. So then in Windows, what we do to get to it, we go to Start, Programs, Accessories, Communications, Network Setup Wizard. And that's the Welcome Network Setup Wizard. And that'll get you going for everything. And we're going to open up our network connections and make sure the cable's plugged in and registered on Windows. If you guys remember seeing this last week, that's exactly how I check it. If you click that link over on the side that says Set up a Home or Small Office Network, it just brings the wizard up without having to go through Start, Programs, Accessories, Communications, Network Setup Wizard. So on it, we're going to hit Next a lot until we get to the checklist for creating a network. Now this checklist is actually really good for what Microsoft released with it. Sketch your network, we did that in class. Next to each computer, note the hardware, we're doing that. Choose the computer that we're going to set up the residential gateway, don't worry about that. That's if you were to have only internet going to one computer, then all the computers accessing internet from that computer. Determine the type of adapters, everything's standardized these days, so you don't have to worry about that. And make a list of hardware you need to buy. This is important. You need to get a modem, unless you already have one, and you need to get a wireless router, unless you already have one. And you need to buy them. You're probably going to need Cat 5 cable if you're doing game consoles or desktop computers. Laptops, if you have a wireless router and a wireless card in your laptop, odds are you do. Everything's great. Connect it all, turn it all on, and make sure the residential, don't worry about that one. It's good. And yes, use the existing shared connection. That's because this computer is special. Your computer might say that if there's more than one internet connection on the back. This one has 2. Name your computer. Demo. Demonstration. This just identifies this computer itself on the network. And then a work group. This is important. This is how all your computers talk to each other, is if they're in the same work group. So I'm going to name this one Demo Work Group. Maybe not. Not that good of a ring to it. My keyboard's horrible. I'm running out of battery life on it. So we're going to name it AwesomeNet. That's the work group that this computer is going to connect to. Now, I don't have any other computers named or on the work group of AwesomeNet in my house, So AwesomeNet is the only network this computer is able to recognize. I do have another workgroup set up, and I actually have it named Workgroup. And I'll get to that in a second. But once you click Next and finishing up the network setup wizard here, it shows you that it's redoing all the stuff in the background, all your different configuration files, so it knows to do it. And if you need to, we can create a network setup disk for other computers. If you have a thumb drive plugged in, that'll work. Otherwise, I wouldn't really worry about it. This one, I happen to set up my iPod for it. And I'll restart in a second. Okay, this is after the restart now. We'll go to My Network Places, and I have already set back off screen. I've already set back my workgroup stuff. So this is the stuff this computer is sharing out to the network, and this is what my other desktop, my media server, is sharing out to the network. You can see all the different files and folders here that I can access on that computer, and any of the shared folders in your computer are able to be accessed and shared as well. So you can see that I have a DVD drive, a hard drive, and a network drive on my computer. Now the network drive is where I transfer all my files between computers, just so it's one centralized folder. Let's make a new one. We'll call it the Q drive, and then you can look through your workgroup. There's nothing on AwesomeNet, but there is something on workgroup, and that's my other desktop. So we'll go to that, and then we'll go to my C drive, which I have completely shared, and we'll go in my transfers folder. This is another thing that I use for log me in to transfer stuff between school and home, actually. So then you click Finish, and it opens it up right there for you, just so you can see that it's connected. Now there's nothing in that folder right now, but if I were to take a file, let's just grab a one of our homework files here, and just copy it over. Now it's in my Q drive mapped, and I can click out of all that and go through to it. Oh, wrong one. Go through to it via the network and see that it's physically, the data is on that computer and this computer as well. Any other questions? That's all I got.